So Skull and Bones finally has a November release date, which is, like I said, November 8th of this year. This game has been in a very long development cycle stuck in Hekla. It's been stuck in development hell for quite a bit. Allegedly, from 2014 onward, after Assassin's Creed Black Flag, some teams wanted to make a game out of the ship combat and make it very pirate-based and outside of the Assassin's Creed universe. So they had this idea, Skull and Bones, and the game actually had an E3 presentation in 2018, had the producer coming on board talking about how it's going to be a great pirate game, the ultimate pirate game. And then there was a lot of silence from 2019 onward up till now. So of course, as you've known, Ubisoft had a bit of trouble in terms of its workplace culture from 2019 onward, including the Ubisoft Singapore office, which is making the game. And then they made the announcement earlier this July. With the release date, they showed off close to an hour of gameplay, or 40 minutes or so. I wasn't really impressed because I was expecting like the be-all, end-all, the better version of Sea of Thieves from Rare and Xbox, but all I see is just something from Assassin's Creed Black Flag, just made new. And if they actually charge 60 US for this, it's not going to be looking good. And though, you know what the worst part is, Hanif? It's actually in between two major release dates, Bayonetta 3 on October 28th for Nintendo Switch, and God of War Ragnarok on November the 9th for PlayStation 4 and 5. Yes, these are games from different genres compared to a pirate game, but when you think about it, if you have 60 US to spend, which one are you going to spend it on? Established franchises or a game that looks like it's made from the skeletons from 2014? I mean, you gotta be honest here. I mean, what do you think? I mean, you saw the gameplay and everything?
Yeah. I guess it's a no-brainer that obviously we will spend it on other games. But the thing is, this game is meant to be a AAA title from Ubisoft, right?
Yes, it is. I mean, hence the big stage presentation on 2018's E3. Anyway, the point is the game's coming out on November the 8th. I think this looks like a game dead on arrival. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's a bit too early to assume that. I guess I don't know. I mean, maybe just because I don't think we don't have that much pirate theme games apart from Sea of Thieves. Maybe, but maybe it'll be able to, I guess, survive the market for a bit. But I don't know. I mean, I think at this point people are a bit more interested with the news and the stories surrounding the game rather than the game itself, right?
That is true. I think the only few things that could save it is if they charge it like how they charge Overwatch the first time around, like treat it like, I guess, 30 or 40 US, and then give all the updates within the next 5 years. Sea of Thieves survived because of its persistence and the fact that it catered to a niche that people wanted, a free-form, open-sailing pirate game. Skull and Bones, I think it's just the ship battles we've seen so far. I mean, if they expand upon the open world pirate combat on land and boarding, basically what you've seen in Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which you should actually play instead, I think Skull and Bones might have a sliver of a chance to survive the next 1 year or so. Otherwise, if it's going out the way as is, it won't even survive 6 months.
So it's been quiet for quite a while. Why did it suddenly have a release date announced? Yeah.
That's easy because the Singapore government is cashing out. They want to ask for their returns. And if the game does not release before the March fiscal year for Ubisoft next year, the Singapore government can take legal action, mind you, because of this dilly-dallying and delays.
I see. We've seen things like this happening before, especially with, I think, Cyberpunk, right? So this is, we can perhaps, I guess, anticipate that this is gonna be another Cyberpunk.
Probably won't be as buggy, but it'll be underwhelming to say the least. Because ship battles, yes, they might look fun, but there's only so much you can do with that if you don't offer something like what a game like Sea of Thieves or even Pirates, the Sid Meier's Pirates back in 2003-04 would offer. If a game from 2003 has more content than what you're releasing this year, you have problems. I'll just say this. You control a stray cat who is stuck in a dystopian underground world filled with robots, and your objective is to get out. So the game itself controls like a 3D action platformer kind of title. It's an adventure game where you explore your surroundings, do cat-like things. I mean, all your cat can do is just run really fast and jump. And also, there's a dedicated meow button. So every single puzzle in the game is tailored after your cat's abilities to jump, evade, escape, and, push things to, annoy people, stray. So it's a kind of really chillax vibe. The art style is pretty interesting. I mean, if you're into a bit of sci-fi and having a stranger in the strange land sort of thing going on, and really atmospheric music and a really chillax environment, and then I believe Stray will be the game that's perfect for you. It's available for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and PC. Also from Square Enix, the publishers of Power Wash Simulator, is an RPG called Live Alive. It's a Nintendo Switch title. It's a remake of a Super Nintendo game of the same title back in 1995 that never made it out of Japan. So it's actually the first time everyone is playing this game. So you play as 8 characters who are in different eras as you play out their stories in separate scenarios, each of them being tied to a malevolent force that plagues their respective generations. You can play as either, all the 8 storylines is you play as a cowboy, a caveman where the scenario there's no dialogue involved, a psychic, a martial artist, one old and one young, a knight, a ninja, and a robot. So there are different storylines and different timelines, and they all converge at the last third of the game. To see it in 2D HD and with the new soundtrack and the sort of new combat gameplay with some tweaked mechanics to make it more friendly for a 2022 audience, I think it's a really good way to remake the game. So I just wish I could speed the combat up a little bit, but other than that, Live Alive is a JRPG 2D gem that everyone should at least play. And also the soundtrack is done by Yoko Shimomura, who did the soundtrack for the original game. So when she remasters it and remakes it, it's going to stay true to the original game with some changes here and there. I say if you have a Nintendo Switch and you have a JRPG you want to play right now, you can play this game. I recommend this wholeheartedly.